Hey guys, Bird Yu-Gi-Oh here. So real quick before I get into the video, I wanted to say thank you guys for commenting on the last post I did. Let me know what you guys do want to see moving forward from the channel. So I will be doing 2 deck profiles and then a miscellaneous video in between. Cross my fingers, hoping this week it's going to be a top 10 budget decks for the ban list. Hopefully that drops this week. But yeah, until then, I have for you guys a Machina deck, or Machina. I don't know how you guys prefer to say it, but you can say it both ways. But this is I feel, still a really powerful deck. There's really, I guess, one expensive card in the main deck I'll explain, and you don't have to play it, especially with a new card that just came out. So yeah, let's get right into this one. Make sure you guys are subscribed so that you do not miss my top 10 budget decks for the upcoming ban list, or post the ban list, I guess I should say. And let's get right into this one. So starting off with 3 Citadel. I have seen a lot of people playing it at 2, but there's just too many ways of getting it from your hand to the graveyard, from your deck to the graveyard, that I feel 3 is the only way to play it. And it's an amazing card. So basically, it can only be special summoned by a card effect, which we have a number of ways of doing that. One of them is by his own effect, which if a face-up Earth machine type monster you control is destroyed by battle or card effect while he's in your graveyard, you can special summon this card. And then quick effect, you can target one machine monster you control, destroy that monster, and all monsters your opponent controls with attack less than or equal to that monster. So if you destroy him, he's 3,000 attack, so that should get rid of pretty much anything your opponent summons. But yeah, he's the boss monster. He's the monster you always want to get to the grave so that you can then summon him out. And actually a very easy way of doing that, both of those effects, is Aerator. Really like this one. I wish they made him a super rare or ultra rare or something. But they didn't. So basically, his first really good effect is you can discard one other Machina monster and special summon him from your hand. So that's getting a Citadel to the grave or whatever else to the grave. And then his other effect is you can target one machine monster you control and special summon from your graveyard one Machina monster with a different name and an equal or lower level than that monster. So, you know, that is, you're destroying a monster, so that will get Citadel's effect off to summon itself. And then if you have another Machina in the grave, you can special summon it with him. Just really, really good card. And another nice one to have is Aerator. Similar effect, so same thing, you discard one other Machina monster and special summon this card from your hand. And then during your opponent's turn, you could target one machine monster you control and special summon one from your deck, a Machina monster with a different name and an equal or lower level. And then you destroy the monster that you targeted. So yeah, both of them destroy. This one's just going to do it on your opponent's turn. This one will do it on your turn if you so desire. So they're both perfect, and again, they both discard to then special summon themselves. And they're level 8s, so they're just amazing cards. And then a really good normal summon is Gear Frame, because simply when it's normal summoned, you just add a Machina monster from your deck to your hand. Simple as that. Extremely good. And then one of the new cards that we're playing, or I guess the newest card, is Machina Unclaspar, or Unclasper, however you say it. But when this card is added to your hand, except by drawing it, you can special summon it. And then if this card is normal or special summoned, you can send one Machina monster from your deck to the graveyard. So that is very, very good. I only played at 2 because there actually are quite a few normal summons in this deck that you don't really need to. And again, you can special summon him if he's added to your hand. So if you open up Gear Frame, add these to your hand, you can special summon him and then send a Citadel to the grave. It just kind of gets everything going for you. But then our other really, really good normal summon is Metal Cruncher. And this is the one that's a little more expensive now. So if you instead wanted to play 3 of the new guy and then just cut this one, that's definitely an option. This is an amazing normal summon, so you're completely fine, in my opinion, to cut these if you don't have them and play 3 of this guy. But since we have it, playing 2, it is extremely good still. If you control no face-up cards, you can normal summon this card without tributing. And then if this card is normal or special summoned, you reveal 3 Earth Machine type monsters from your deck, and your opponent randomly adds one of them to your hand, and you shuffle the rest back. So you can reveal 3 of the same type. So say you want a Citadel really bad, and you don't have one in hand, you can reveal 3 Citadel from your deck, and you're basically adding one of those to your hand regardless. Really nice. And then playing 2 Possess Storage. Let me show that name to you. Possess Storage. If this one is normal or special summoned, you can target a Machina monster in your graveyard and special summon it in defense position, but it cannot activate its effects this turn. So that is very good. You can also target one other Machina monster you control and one spell and trap your opponent controls and return them to the hand. So he's a good utility monster. That's why I play him at 2. And he's really good late game. Obviously, you can get rid of a spell and trap and also be able to special summon one from a Machina monster from the grave. So he's very good. And then we play 3 Fortress. Now this is yet another way of getting your Citadel to the grave because you just discard machine type monsters whose total level equals 8 or more. Then you can special summon this card from your hand or graveyard. So if you have another monster, you can send it and him and then be able to special summon him from the grave, or just straight up send a Citadel and special summon him. Very good. He does have some okay effects, but and then 1 Megaform. It kind of works really well with Fortress, and then just a decent level as well, another level 8. Really nice. And then the last Machina monster we play is Resavager. It's just okay. It's nice to have. It's not necessary, though. But it's got a quick effect. You can send this card from your hand or field to the graveyard, then target 1 Machina monster you control, and it gains 1200 attack until the end of this turn. And then when your Machina monster destroys an opponent's monster by battle, while this card is in your graveyard, you can add this back to your hand. So it's just a nice attack boost. That's really it. And then a cool little tech card that I'm playing is True King, Lithosagam. So if this card is in your hand, you can destroy 2 other monsters in your hand or face up on your field, including an Earth monster, and then you can special summon him. And then if both were Earth monsters, which they pretty much will be with almost everything in this deck being Earth, there's a few that are dark, but you can then banish up to 3 monsters with different names from your opponent's extra deck. So just 2 really good effects, and you're obviously destroying Machina monsters, so that'll again easily get out your Citadel. That's kind of the key to this deck, is get your Citadel to the grave and special summon out your Citadel to then win. And then to round out the monsters, playing hand traps, so 3 Gamma, 1 Driver, of course, it's the best hand trap in the game right now, and then 3 Ash Blossom, the most universal hand trap in the game. So that is it for the monsters. Very monster heavy. You have a lot of really good cards that need to see Machina monsters in your hand, so you play quite a few. And then for the spells, by far the best spell you could possibly have for this is Redeployment. Basically, you just discard 1 card, add 2 Machina monsters with different names from your deck to your hand, or if you discard a Machina card, you can add just any 2 Machina cards with different names. So that'll even search out your trap, which is really nice. Trap is very, very good. So that just gets you going with everything. If you open this with a Citadel, you're discarding a Citadel plus searching any other 2 Machina monsters. What more could you ask for? Foolish Burial, obviously, get that Citadel of the Grave. That's all we want to do. Monster Reborn, special summon that Citadel from Grave or anything. And then a Called by the Grave to make sure that we get that redeployment off. And that's also the reason Gamma is extremely good, because you want that redeployment going off. So if your opponent tries to Ash Blossom or whatever, and you can get a Gamma out, yeah, that's really good. So that's it for the spells. Very low on there. And then the traps, we just play 3 of the Overdrive. Now I'll explain this card because it is extremely good. You target a machine monster you control, special summon a Machina monster with a different name from your hand or deck, and then you can destroy that targeted monster. And then you can also banish this card from your graveyard and target 3 of your machine monsters that are banished or in your graveyard, shuffle them into the deck, and then draw a card. So it's just everything we want in a trap card for this deck. So very, very good. That's it for the main deck. Stuck with 40. Didn't really go much for the draw power. We have a lot of searching and just really powerful monster cards. So, and then for the links that we're playing, Platinum Gadget, it just requires 2 machine monsters, and then it has good potential because you can special summon a level 4 or lower machine monster from your hand. So if you have the new Unclass Bar, you just get a free summon of him. Kind of nice. So 1 gadget. IP Masquerena. It's nice to have this for your first turns. And then Phoenix for getting rid of a spell and trap. Unicorn, get rid of anything. And then also you can make this on your opponent's turn with IP Masquerena. Very nice. And then we play Borlode Dragon and Boral Sword Dragon. Just good utility cards that you don't always need to make in a deck like this, especially when you have just basically a free 3000 beater on its own. But, they're there if you can make them. And then play the Omega. We have space in the extra deck. So, and especially since we play the Gamma and the Driver, if your opponent, Ash Blossoms your redeployment and you happen to open Gamma, you're getting 2 cards out of their hand with Omega. Really nice. And then Gear Giga X is really nice and fairly easy to make. It just requires 2 level 4s. You just detach 1 and add a level 4 or lower machine type. He's also a Earth machine type. So again, if he happens to get destroyed, it will still get off Citadel's effect. So that's cool. And the only other rank 4 is Dugaris. Just the most universal rank 4 in the game. Basically, if you need to double the attack, if you need to special summon a monster from the grave, if you need to draw 2 and discard 1, this card's there for you. Usually, you're going to be drawing 2 and discarding 1, but any of those effects are good with this deck especially. And then for some rank 8s, because they're fairly easy to make with this deck, playing a Photon Lord, Hope Harbinger, and then a Dingirsu, which is really nice. And then while we still can, I threw in a True King of All Calamities. I don't see how this could not be banned. It's just too broken of a card now. But yeah, it's fairly easy for us to make. And then I'm also playing Pain Gainer and the 7 Sins. Basically, you can make these with like a Dingirsu, make Dingirsu, and then overlay that on top, and then overlay this on top, and they're just kind of fun. They're not crazy good, but this is a card, once you make it, your opponent really wants to get rid of, or else it's just going to cause them problems. So kind of a cool card to play. But yeah, that's the deck, guys. I love this deck. I've loved it, since way back in the day when it was Machina Gadgets. Now we have just a pure Machina deck. You definitely can play the scraps, scrap recycler, golem. I have too many normal summons in this deck right now, so I did not want to just add in some more. But you definitely can. It's still very viable, very powerful. But yeah, this is the deck I'm going with, and check it out, guys, and we'll see you on the next one.